It was the former Secretary General of the United Nations, Kofi Annan, who said that literature was like a bridge from misery to hope, a tool for daily life in modern society. And indeed, in a region that has produced 2 Nobel laureates, there's a massive cultural buffet of literature from which one may partake. Nourishment may come from the stories told by Siaga, to the imaginative yarn of Naipaul, to even the social economic extrapolation of Walcott. These names may not be familiar to everyone, and that's the point behind the Bocas Lit Fest, which was launched earlier this month. The Bocas, as some of you would know, is Spanish for mouth. It's the main organ we use to communicate with, and it's also a bit of a reference to the oral tradition of storytelling. The organizers of the Bocas Lit Fest are very pleased to join other Caribbean countries who already enjoy the pleasures of an annual literary festival. Literature from the Caribbean region has had a major impact on the world cultural stage, and they want to help bring it back home for all to savor.
Having a literary festival is not a new idea. For example, in Britain, where I spent most of my adult life, there are like 120-something literary festivals all year round, all over Britain. And in fact, we're not the only Caribbean country to have one. In fact, some of the very small islands have one. But Jamaica had a very famous one called Calabash, where many people went, and it became like the thing to do in literary circles, and not just in the Caribbean, but internationally. People would fly there to go to Calabash.
She hopes that the Bocas Lit Fest is able to gain momentum and become a calendar event, as she says there is a wealth of fantastic writers in this country.
And this has been borne out because one of the things we've done is that we've also established an international prize for Caribbean writing. And we've got some pretty eminent judges who are all literary people who spend their lives with books, and some of them hadn't heard of some of the authors who were being entered.
She says one of the aims of the Bocas Lit Fest is to provide a forum for writers to get together and aid the networking process, and maybe even encourage many famous writers back to local shores. The Tourism Development Company, the TDC, the Ministry of Arts and Multiculturalism, the National Museum, and NALIS are just some of the government agencies on board. The Bocas Lit Fest is an exciting new addition to the Caribbean's literary calendar. It invites readers from around the world to enter through the dragon's mouth and celebrate with us the rich literary heritage of Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Caribbean.